I didn't see blue sky or see the sun for 14 days. This is not an original idea. I wanted to do sort of like a pros and cons of living in Finland. I moved to Helsinki, Finland in September last year. Moved here with my boyfriend Daniel. He's going to school. Talk about life change. It's been a completely life-changing experience moving to another country. September, October, November, December. Oh my gosh, it's been 7 months since we've been here. Wow. So it's been 7 months living in Helsinki, Finland. This is my pros and cons of Finland versus America. Let's get into it. All right, so my first pro is accessibility / public transit. Some cities I'm sure are not as good as others. My experience with the public transit here has been really, really incredible. There are buses, trams, and then we have the metro that runs underground. We live in Helsinki, so we have access to the metro, trams, and we have access to buses. Obviously, we don't have a car here. The majority of the city uses the public transit to get from A to B in their day-to-day life. Seeing children riding to school, to and from school every day is really, really cool that is something that they can do here. I will say sort of a con within a pro. This is more just like an adjustment as an American moving to a place where there's public transit. I am so used to accounting for my own time, getting in my car and knowing exactly how long it's gonna take me. I have definitely run into multiple times where I've been quite late to things and had to text the person I was meeting up with, hey, I missed my tram. Sometimes you can get from A to B in like really, really quick time and you just catch all the right trams, buses, metros, whatever you need to get to your destination. So that is definitely an adjustment for me with public transit, but it is really, really, really nice to just pay per time you get on the metro or tram or anything. You don't have to worry about paying for gas or trying to find parking or having to be responsible for the vehicle that's getting you from place to place. That is really, really nice. It's definitely forever changed me. I really want to create a life where I don't necessarily have to be dependent on a car. I don't really want to go back to the way that my life was oriented where I couldn't really get anywhere without a car. Number one con to Finland is the darkness. It gets really dark here. It is March right now in Finland. It's March everywhere, but I am in Finland and it is March right now. We are experiencing beautiful days, mostly sunny for the last couple of weeks. Maybe around 10 to 12 hours of daylight right now. If the sun is up and out, just a few months ago, the sun was coming up at around 9:45 and then it was setting at around 3:30. It was very bold of me to move to a place where the sun doesn't shine for 3 months, right before I turned 25. Talk about a quarter life crisis. Yeah, that was intense. In September, the daylight in Finland was more than it was where we moved from in Nashville, Tennessee. That quickly and exponentially started going down. So by the time it was October, the daylight was a couple hours less. The daylight was going down an hour every single month. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much to unpack with this because the fact that it's a con is true, but the resilience and the personal character growth that I think it causes people to have is something that I don't think I would have ever really experienced had I not visited a Nordic country. When the sun doesn't come up when you're waking up, you have to rely on something else to get you through that time. Even for me, I am someone who doesn't like the sun. Take one look at me and you realize that if I go out into the sun, I'm going to burn. I don't tan. I don't like the sun. Living in Nashville where it's sunny a lot, the summers are very muggy, very warm. I felt like I was being strangled by the sun. in Nashville. Yeah, the darkness was really, really difficult. Just because the sun is like sunrise, that doesn't mean the whole sky is lit up. So you kind of have that like 30 minutes, even an hour on the front and back end of that sunrise and sunset. For instance, where we were living, our apartment was on the second floor. It faced west. The sun doesn't rise in the east and set in the west here. I mean, it does, but it kind of rises in the south and sets in the south. So we're only really seeing it on the south side of the city. We really did not get any direct sunlight in our apartment the whole time we lived there. Right up at the end, we were getting a little bit of reflection off of a window. It was really, really hard to not have daylight until 10-ish every morning. You noticed it start to disappear at about maybe 2 o'clock, 2:30-ish in the afternoon. Yeah, it was really difficult. As far as like me absorbing the sunlight, I don't like that. Beaming in. I don't really like being out in the sun. I don't like being hot. I don't like being sweaty. I would rather have a cloudy day than a sunny day. But I might have changed my mind since being in Finland, so I'll get back to you. It really affects your mood. If I see a little bit of sun, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go outside, and I would just put my boots on and disappear. I had to just go out and soak it all up. You don't know when the next time the sun is gonna shine. The longest period of time we went without sun was like 14 days. The sun came up, but I didn't see blue sky or see the sun for 14 days. My second pro for Finland is going to have to be sauna culture. I love a good sauna. Holy cow. Let me tell you, I had never done a hot coal sauna before coming here. Don't get me wrong, I love a good infrared sauna. There were a few places I had gone in Nashville to sauna. They were spectacular. So good. Coming here though, it's so accessible. There are saunas everywhere. They're in apartment buildings. There are so many public saunas, and then there's a lot of swimming pool, private saunas that have a pool or a gym, and then you sauna afterwards. There are saunas everywhere in Finland. Something about ending a long week with going to the sauna and then jumping into the Baltic Sea that is rejuvenating. Ugh, I love it. We've been going to the sauna pretty much every week. If we miss a week, Daniel and I both are like, we're aching in pain, and it's just like, why do I feel so ick right now? Oh. It's because I haven't saunaed this week. I can't say enough good things about it. I genuinely believe that it's going to be the thing I miss the most. I could go on and on about the saunas here. Seriously. My second con of Finland is more of a Helsinki con, is that there are no one-stop shops. Compared to America, we have Walmart, Target, Walgreens. Grocery stores will kind of have everything. Here, I feel like there's still a little bit of everything in a grocery store, but the selection can be really limited. Sometimes it can be expensive. I have found that when it comes to really good skincare, a really specific type of cleaner, certain medicine, things you might get from a pharmacy, they won't have a big selection of those at the markets. There's a lot of different stores that specialize in specific things. There's definitely something that I miss about just going to like Target, being able to get food, skincare, snacks, clothing, cleaning products, household pans, pots. That is not as big of a thing in Helsinki. You kind of have to go to a bunch of different stores instead of just going to one place to get everything. We don't have like a Target Walmart situation. My next pro for life in Finland is coffee and pastry scene. Holy cow. For anyone who has left America and gone to probably lots of different countries, but especially Europe, they really do coffee and pastry right. So specifically where I'm from in Nashville, there are a lot of great coffee shops there. Somewhere you can go and get like a really nice pour over. There are plenty of those places. Even though there's good bakeries and coffee shops in Nashville, they're really expensive. The specialty types of pastries you're gonna pay a lot for. You can go to the grocery store and just get a basic croissant or a donut or something. That definitely exists. But the quality and the taste compared to Finland, you can go to the basic grocery stores, they get pastries from the local bakeries delivered to them in the morning. So I think that has been something that I have really enjoyed about Finland. Every single cup of coffee I've had has been above average. The base level standard seems to be so much higher here than it is in America. To get a good cup of coffee in America, you kind of have to go to one of those places that are the more upscale. I definitely feel very spoiled with that aspect of being here. It's really good. That brings us to my third con of living in Finland. People won't help you. That's not true. It is a little bit. Let me explain. So there's something about the Finnish culture that I've observed, this independence to be self-sustaining. Not in a way that's like, don't help me. I've definitely witnessed people be open to asking for help and open to receiving help and open to offering help. It's kind of a pride in being able to take care of themselves. Their bandwidth for being able to take care of themselves is really, really incredible. It makes for this more closed off interactions with people that I think coming from America was a really big adjustment. I'm not a huge small talker. I can do it. I don't like to. I don't prefer that. I prefer a more real and genuine, honest conversation and connection with someone, but I'm capable of having those conversations. People don't do small talk here. You don't ask your waiter or waitress, how are you today? People don't ask, oh, what's your recommendation? Or what's your favorite thing on the menu? Or how's your day going? Or what do you do when you're not at work? Like, people don't ask that here. It's not that they don't want to answer you. I think the Finns have this posture as a culture. They don't care to have conversation unless it is meaningful. Quick, easy, interchangeable back and forth conversation that you might have with a stranger. How's it going? How are you? People don't ask that here. Most people assume that you've got it figured out. I'm a very clumsy person. I have found myself out in public, making a fool of myself, dropping things, can't hold all of my groceries in my hand because I didn't get a cart. Yesterday I was walking out of a store and I put something in my bag and I realized my headphones were attached to my phone and my phone was in my pocket and my headphones were trailing behind me, and I'm sure I looked great. I am often a mess in public. In Finland, people are not mean. They're not cold. They're not angry. They are really, really, really kind, and they're very willing to help you. It's just that they won't offer that. This is me editing. I need to interject here. I said this was a con, but it's kind of both. It's more of a pro than it is a con. I really appreciate the fact that the Finns don't do small talk. I very much value the fact that people don't try to talk to you on the street. I value that people are a lot more respectful of your space. I value the privacy that you are given in your day-to-day life going out in public. Those are all huge pros to me that I think when I am back in America, I think that I will be very uncomfortable by the way that people interact with you. So I think I have adapted to this more closed off private way of life, and I very much appreciate it. So I just needed to say that in this clip. I mentioned this as more of a con. The reason that it feels like a con, it's just a big adjustment for someone coming from a culture more like America. For me, it wasn't as big of an adjustment because I already kind of lived my life not engaging with people as much in public. But if you are coming from a culture where that is very common, it will be a shock to you to come to Finland. I will say, when I traveled to London a couple months ago, I had a huge culture shock. Getting there at night and walking around the city by myself after living in Finland for 2 months, I had already adjusted to that way of life here. So going to London was very, very uncomfortable for me. I really enjoyed my time there, but the first night I was very anxious, I was very uneasy, I was very uncomfortable. So there's definitely something to say for the effect that this culture has on you. In my experience, has mostly been a positive thing. In the experience of going to a new culture or back to a culture where people are very in your face, it would be a very negative thing. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. Back to the video. My next pro, there's a lot of creativity here. There's a lot of ceramic shops, art stores, yarn stores. I really enjoy that there is a really big creative culture here. Flowing from that is a huge pro, which is the museums. Museums are something that I have never, ever been interested in before here. I grew up being homeschooled. I went to some museums, especially in Nashville. There's one art museum. Yeah, my experience with museums in Nashville and growing up was nothing. I didn't ever really go to them, and then when I did, they were usually really boring. I'm really excited to go to the art museums, the history museums, science museums. That's definitely a plus. The last pro of living in Finland is it is really safe here. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously. It's 2023. I am a lady, in case you didn't know. I am a woman, and growing up, I was always told by my mom to always be looking around, making sure I'm looking at my surroundings, never get in my car without locking the door immediately afterwards, always having like a pepper spray or something on you, having people have your location. Yeah, there's a lot that you have to worry about as a woman in the world, obviously, but especially in America. I don't think I really fully grasped until I left. Walking around in Finland, being places at night, taking buses, trams, whatever, I can count on one hand in 7 months that I have been uncomfortable. No one has ever approached me, catcalled me, touched me, or tried to touch me in public. Yeah, my entire life, strangers have come up to me and complimented my hair because it's red. Don't get me wrong. I love the attention, but I don't think a single person has told me that my hair is pretty, other than, me in the mirror every morning. I think that's worth mentioning. I enjoy when people tell me my hair is pretty, because I like the attention. I'm not gonna lie about that. But it kind of made me realize moving here, people would just come up to me and just talk to me and tell me this. I've kind of realized people are just very to themselves here. In America, I would get catcalled, I would get whistled at, I would get stared at, I'd get followed, people would try to touch me, people would try to touch my hair. That is kind of an inescapable thing in my experience in America, where I lived and grew up as a teenage girl and an adult woman. Coming to a place where that really doesn't happen, that hasn't happened to me here. No one has catcalled me. No one has told me anything or complimented me in that type of way. I guess if it's unwarranted, it's not a compliment anymore. No one has approached me or tried to touch me or anything like that here. It is a really nice feeling to feel safe. You have to do a lot of things yourself. Bagging your groceries, weighing out your produce and such, you weigh it out yourself, remember the number, print off the ticket and put it on. They don't do that for you at the register. You have to be really mindful of your surroundings and of the things that you have to do yourself. It is an adjustment for sure, coming from America where everything is kind of just done for you. You have to be responsible for a lot of things in America too, but the ease of having your groceries delivered, having someone shop for you, there's more of a cognitive approach to shopping here. I really appreciate it. It is really easy to take that ease that we have in America where everything can kind of be done for us. It's really easy to take that and apply it to everything else in life. It can create people who aren't very mindful. You can kind of get into this bubble where you don't really think about any of that in America. Getting to experience a new culture has just been incredible. I don't even know how to put it into words right now. I never thought I would ever get to experience something like this. I never thought I would get to go live in another country. I never even thought I would travel outside of the US. It has opened up a whole new world of what life could be like. It's broadened my perspective on the world, my perspective on people, and on what it's like to be a person in the world. I feel completely forever changed by living in Finland. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it here. I'm gonna carry a little piece of Finland around with me for the rest of my life. Yeah, I think that's it. That's really all that I wanted to say. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me today. If you made it this far in the video, comment, subscribe, come hang out with me. I'm really excited to be making YouTube videos, excited to see where it goes, what it leads to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. Bye!